Discourse online. What a joyous thing. I'm so glad that there are a myriad of left-leaning channels that make great, high-quality, well-researched videos. Aren't we just so lucky to have them? God, wouldn't it be bad if these videos were so good that they take a significantly long time to make in an algorithm that favors quantity over quality? Left commentary in the way we know it today is a relatively new genre. Structurally, it started out with what I like to call modern commentary, which replaced gameplay commentary as the dominant genre. This is just gonna be like that. I'm so sorry. Modern commentary really started in the mid to late 2010s as the app Vine was dying out. Therefore, various Vine creators jumped ship to YouTube. This is a period referred to as the Viner invasion. Usually it is used with a negative connotation, referring to channels like Lele Pons or the Paul brothers, who are just so great all the time. However, it also brought around a lot of Cody Co style commentary channels, such as Danny Gonzalez, Drew Gooden, and Curtis Connor. These are fantastic channels and frequently produce funny content to enjoy. Most of these videos are very lighthearted and therefore tackle more lighthearted subjects. When they do brush against more serious things, they usually take a very mocking tone or omit certain details that might be a bit too much. Take Danny's video on Andrew Tate or Curtis's video on Fresh and Fit as an example. These people are horrendous to an almost comically villainous degree, yet both of these creators manage to keep the tone consistent, knowing when to actually take things seriously and when to mock. If we were to split commentary into generations, we'd have the first generation, or gameplay commentary. These were extremely shitty, low effort, and above all, reactionary videos from creators like Leafy and the million other sad bastards imitating him. Second gen is what we just discussed. Then there's a third, maybe even a fourth generation of commentary creators. These channels splintered off to cover a certain niche, choosing to cover more political or social topics, while their last generation counterparts would only do so periodically. This, to be clear, is not a problem. The issue arises with how these channels go about that, the time they actually put into research, their ability to actually respond to points from some of the dumbest people possible, and how they fail. And also some weird shit me no likey. So what channels comprise this genre? Typically, I define the third generation as Nick is Not Green, Noah Sampson, Ryan Beard, and Ethanisonline. There are other channels in that community, but they're a little outside the genre. This is not designed to attack these creators. This is, hopefully, slightly mocking constructive criticism. I want nothing more than for these channels to improve, as we need voices like theirs. My issue has and always will be whether they're actually able to do this properly or not. They are 100 billion times better than the alternative. Lastly, this video is not like everyone else criticizing them. I'm not a Vosh fan, and I'm absolutely not one of these idiotic chuds whining about how woke these channels are now. Okay, good? Good. I was a fan of many of these channels, and in some ways I still am. However, as time goes on, I've slowly begun to feel a little bit disappointed in them. I've noticed glaring issues start to show up, eventually reaching the point where I'm at now, where I can't watch one of their videos without wanting to discuss it like this. The very first video that tipped me off that something was wrong was Ethan's take on stolen content. He seems to think it is absolutely wicked. This video is still up and also has a weird defensive pinned comment from Ethan himself where he recreates a lot of the problems with this video. I'm not going to respond to JXC's video. I watched some of it. Oh, I'm team don't give Jay the desperate attention they want. So you'll hear zero complaining from me. They went from making content about something they were passionate about and it didn't work for them, so they turned into a hate farmer, and the only way they could grow their channel, and no one should reward this behavior. What the fuck are you honestly talking about? One of Jay's most popular videos is a 5-hour-long self-indulgent essay on fucking Doctor Who. In fact, their most popular videos consist of short, goofy bullshit or video essays about things that seemingly only they really care about. They only have like one actual main channel video on it. The rest is like side stuff or a live stream. Me, when I lie on the internet, and Ethan loved that one. I wonder if that's because it's someone reassuring him that he doesn't even need to fucking bother checking. Look, the meanest YouTube comment I have ever gotten is being called JSC at home. So if I ever see them in real life, I will challenge them to a brawl. You can't say no. But you still can't go around hearting comments with straight up lies in them. The video itself isn't exactly fantastic either. The entire thing centers around terminally normal man Dark Viper AU. You see, Dark Viper has been a very vocal critic for a long time now, focusing specifically on React streamers, who have been more in the zeitgeist as of late. A while back he released a document all about this, one that he didn't really expect anyone to read. Needless to say, that didn't exactly go to plan. Now, I have my own issues with this specific document and we will get there, but Ethan does too. I sure hope that he gives genuine, real critique.
By the way, if you are watching this video just because of the topic, I'm going to ask you not to react at all to this video. Even if you're not like a streamer or anything, just please do not react to this video. Please just kind of watch silently. That's how I acquire the most amount of engagement, obviously.
Oh, great start. Okay. Alright. The entire video has such a strange vibe. It's like Ethan doesn't want to engage with any of the actual points in the document. Like, I don't know if he was playing a character with this one, but it comes across as so intentionally obtuse. Ethan doesn't think that reaction content is theft. He seemingly thinks that all reaction content, no matter how lazy, is a net positive for everyone.
Even if a streamer played an entire fucking video without commenting whatsoever, if they were doing it in good faith because they liked the video, I don't see anything fucking wrong with that.
His first major hiccup is completely disregarding the idea that content creation is a market. Yes, seriously, he doesn't think it's a market. First of all, how? It is so obviously a market that I don't think I even need to explain it. If you're making content, you are unfortunately battling it out in a market. Whether you take YouTube to be a hobby or a career is irrelevant, because YouTube itself sees it as a potential career, because it can make money off of you. Whether you think that's cool or not, if you want to make money on YouTube, it means you have to participate in the creator market. If I don't put myself out there, no one will consume the cringe that I post. No one will suck up the slop that I serve to them every few weeks, and therefore I get none of that delightful currency. You quite literally have to market yourself to an audience in order to make money. One of the stranger things Ethan does in this video is complain about how the D-man, that's what his close friends call him, you wouldn't get it, uses leftist ideas while talking about free market economics. This is so unbelievably weird. The reason that Dank VIP is doing this is because he is on the left and has left economic opinions. However, he's using his view of the world to analyze his current reality. This is so painfully obvious. Acknowledging capitalism does not mean that you like capitalism. Recognizing that him, you, me, we all live in capitalist countries does not mean that we think it's fucking wicked. He has to do this. Could you imagine if the left was never allowed to acknowledge capitalism? The only way we are able to discuss the world is through our utopian ideal dream society, as acknowledging anything about our capitalist existence means you want to absolutely rim Elon Musk. Another point Ethan makes is that YouTube isn't the same as it used to be, which no one claimed, and that to make it nowadays, you need to do networking and collaborations. Definitely doesn't sound like a fucking market, by the way. Now, this is slightly reductive and is clearly informed by the genre Ethan is in, as not every YouTuber's content is suited to collaboration. However, he's still right. But this is just weird gratitude shit. You should be grateful that someone re-uploaded your content, as you might get a bunch of new fans. However, the thing is that networking and collaborations is a voluntary thing that you choose to do. You put yourself out there and make the connections. This is entirely involuntary. I'll be honest, I don't think I want Hassan fans in my audience. Sorry, guys. I'm saying this as someone who has future collaborations that they're working on. I get it, but it is an individual creator's choice to make that connection.
Sorry, no one reacted to your GTA 5 speedrun.
So yeah, this is a joke, but there's a clear undercurrent that Ethan thinks Dark Viper made this document out of jealousy, which is really weird.
The difference between React capitalism and traditional capitalism is that laborers consent in a normal company to have their labor used this way. That's not true, even if the circumstances of society ultimately compel this consent. Okay, then you just undermined your own fucking point, you idiot asshole.
So, this little segment, huh? Well, yes, it is true that compelled consent is not consent. What Dark Viper is getting at is that within a traditional job, you go in expecting these things. You understand the structure, at least to some degree. When you apply for a position, you know that your labor is going to be used to make someone else rich. Whether you like it or not, that is the reality of most, if not all, jobs. This is different. You didn't sign any contract with them. You did not apply for a position with them. There were no terms or agreements. They're not involved with you in any way. They're not part of the company you work for, and you had no fucking idea of what they were going to do. One day, just a fucking random guy said, "Hey, I'm gonna profit off of your work now. Surprise!
We make YouTube videos, you fucking clown. And again, referring to YouTube and Twitch as a content marketplace is just wrong. The content that we make is free. Like, there's no way for a viewer to be like, oh, I would love to watch this video, but I just can't. I just can't. I'm out of viewer points.
There's no viewer coins, huh? You can watch content infinitely without having to pay. Huh. Sure, that's true, but humor me for a second and imagine a world in which there are viewer coins. Imagine that you're coming home late on a Friday evening. Super long, busy, stressful day. After all that, you're ready to just unwind, eat some cheap, shit food, but you don't want to be alone with your thoughts. Maybe you don't watch as much content online as you used to. Now, you could look around, try to find something new to watch, but why take that risk? I mean, if you're going to spend your viewer points, you should spend them wisely, right? Then it happens. A miracle. A notification on your phone. A streamer you really like is actually going live. Holy shit, you always miss it. Can't let this opportunity go. Plus, they kind of bring the content to you. Given you're a fan of them, the streamer probably has similar interests. In a way, they've done the content aggregation for you. You didn't have to spend your viewer points on something you might not like. More bang for your viewer buck. Wouldn't that suck? If you only had a limited amount of points you could spend on content each day, these points directly contributing to the success of a creator? What if that creator couldn't monetize their channel until they reached a certain level of viewer points? What if those points had a fluctuating value? One where even if you watch that content later, after the streamer's reaction, that it kind of doesn't matter as much. Getting those initial points matters a lot. Getting people to view as quickly as possible. Time. Ethan, I'm talking about time. Maybe you're too online to notice. Oh, worst joke. But people don't exactly have infinite time to watch YouTube. They don't have the ability. The finite pool of impressions comes from the fact that people just don't have the time. You can only really get a finite number of impressions because even if a viewer watches your content later, it kind of doesn't matter all too much. You've probably made something else, something that you want to prioritize more. Unfortunately, time is money in this case. Your viewers give up their time and that translates into that delish currency in your pocket. As someone who doesn't come home until late into the evening, I can't watch as much content as I would have years ago. Ethan maybe intentionally doesn't understand what this document is about. At several points he responds in such a way where it seems like he's just fucking around. Is he? Surely not. I mean, look at the pinned comment. This was something he fully believed. He complains that Dark Viper AU is virtue signaling on behalf of small creators and then talks for small creators. Is this a bit? Saying we undermines your point spectacularly. Would I want this to happen? Maybe at the size I am, sure. I don't think it could really harm me too much. I'm not currently monetized because despite the fact I'm eligible, I just didn't think the time was right. Sure, don't get me wrong, if someone told me that they'd hand me a free $5 every month, that would be pretty neat, but it's not a big enough difference for me to actively seek it out. However, if I was Ethan's size at the time he made this video, I'd have a very different opinion. I don't think I'd be remotely okay with someone profiting off of my work, if I too could make money off of it. The next bit Ethan fundamentally misunderstands is Dark Viper AU saying that if these streamers weren't doing reaction content, then people would be watching something else. Ethan, condescendingly, takes this to mean that the content being reacted to is the only reason people are watching.
Is he implying that the viewers in like Pokemon's stream are there to watch what she's reacting to and wouldn't be there regardless of what she was doing? Like, how can a content creator be so like delirious as to how any of this works?
And that if the streamer was doing something else, they wouldn't have viewers. This again feels like an intentional mischaracterization. What whole Diaper Viper US was saying is that if these streamers weren't reacting, then their streams wouldn't be on, Ethan. They'd be significantly shorter, Ethan. Hell, one of the major pro-reaction arguments is that it is really difficult to entertain an audience for 8 hours. And you're right, it is. So fucking don't do it for 8 hours. If you can't. The point is that if these streamers dropped reaction content, they would either have to develop new skills and talents, which at that point is just fair game, or they would just have to stream less, freeing up their time to go watch something else. Anything else. Dark Vark UK perfectly understands that switching off a reactor's stream is not an automatic find good content button. He understands that you are not magnetically drawn to content that would have otherwise been stolen. Now, let's get serious for a second. In this essay, Dark Viper, or Matt, does something very bad that Ethan rightly gets annoyed about. Matt, in a stupid decision, decides to compare React streamers taking things with no consent to sexual assault. This is horrific and borders on unforgivable. It is such a trivialization of one of the worst things that can happen to a person. I'm trying to remain as calm and respectful as possible, but it truly is an infuriatingly dumb thing. This happens with Matt. Listening to him argue is like eating the best pie ever, but on the second last slice, you just get shot in the fucking leg and then eat the last slice anyway. Ethan calls this out, and good on him. Behavior like this should not go uncriticized. That being said, just because he does one thing correctly, that doesn't mean I can just ignore all the problems with this video. Like, I hope that this is just like a fluke. There's this fantastic video by left YouTuber Sean called Sargon of Akkad Can't Read, which goes over the problem with just reading these things out in real time without actually scripting things out beforehand. It just looks terrible. Speaking of looking terrible, anyone up for a BetterHelp sponsorship?
Today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Noah Sampson. Noah is an interesting case because I do believe he's a genuinely good person. While Ethan presents himself in this snarky, smart guy way, almost like the anti-SJW losers he criticizes, Noah is significantly more reserved and presents himself in a much calmer way. However, with him, I can't help but notice when things are off. While he's been uploading for years, the way we know his channel now kind of got started with very regular commentary videos, like talking about a weird TikTok user. Then we get into his videos about leftist YouTube and streamers, which I just love. Look, if Xander Hall and Vosh hate you, you're probably doing something right. However, after this, Noah started talking about the manosphere, and then that's all that he did. If you don't know what the manosphere is, then you sound like you're having a great time. There is nothing wrong with this, by the way. This behavior should be called out. But with the extreme Holy shit! You made it to the intermission. Welcome to the intermission. This is where I do my shilling. First off, we got some great fan art. If you want your fan art to be featured in the next video, send it to me on Twitter, or send it into the server. That's right. Kai's Home for Aspiring Vampires is now a place that you can go to. Link is in the description, link is on my Twitter, both pinned and I think in my location section.
Has this ever happened to you?
Oh god, oh me, I'm just ever so lonely. Oh no, I don't have any friends.
That's great. Then you need to join the Guys Home for Aspiring Vampires server. Wow! It has such great features, such as the ability to send messages, and also images, video, and sound. Call your friends. Who needs a phone when you have the Guys Home for Aspiring Vampires community server? Oh my god! Finally, the Home for Aspiring Vampires is now a real place that you can go to. And, I don't know, be a vampire, I guess I'm so tired. We have such great features, like amazing emotes, and fun commands. Carl, show me Leon Kennedy falling down, please. Carl, behead my father.
What?
So make sure that you leave your money in my pocket, and join the Guys Home for Aspiring. Oh my god, my life is over!
Saturation of this content from both him and other channels, it left a desperation to find the next weird guy, which led to this little video. I'm not going to dwell on it too long, but this is not a manosphere video. This is a video of a guy staring directly in the camera and admitting that he wants to abuse children, that he thinks all men should want to abuse children. Look, I'm all for being able to joke about basically anything, but this is not the time. This guy is admitting to being a predator, and all they can do is wiggle around on the couch and make some really tasteless jokes. Like at one point, they make a joke about the guy breaking into the homes of and abusing underage members of their audience. That just doesn't sit right with me, for multiple reasons. This is what I mean when I worry that sometimes these channels simply aren't equipped to handle the topics they choose. Case in point, Sneako. Sneako is now pretty out of the public eye, which is a really good thing, but for a while he was unavoidable. One of the main characters. Sneako went from making earnest videos as a teenager to shitty reductive street interviews to having a prolonged, very public mental breakdown. Sneako genuinely is a personification of the most annoying kid you knew when you were 14, but he's also very illustrative of where leftist commentary goes wrong. You see, Sneako kind of broke these guys. By being as annoying and obnoxious as he was, it's like these more reserved commentary channels kind of short-circuited, didn't know how to handle such an abrasive figure. Weirdly though, they went in a debate bro direction. While I think that Noah's videos on the topic are actually good at times and can be insightful, even if I think they're a little misguided, it's another YouTuber's video, Ryan Beard's, where things kind of fall apart. His video on Sneako has a very positive reception, and it is easy to see why, but I can't help but think it exemplifies everything wrong with how we've responded to people like Sneako. The entire video is centered around the concept of logical fallacies, and how Sneako uses logical fallacies to seem smarter. Pretty much everything in this video is correct. It is all true and valid. This is not going to be me debunking this video. No. Instead, I just want to question the point of this video. Who is it for? What purpose does it serve? Much of the video is directly addressed to Sneako, talking to him. So then, is it for him? I guess. Maybe. But, you know, Sneako doesn't care about logical fallacies. He doesn't care about the rules of debate, something that Beard should be very aware of. He made a response video and made a complete show of himself as usual, but that didn't really do anything, because Sneako did something really interesting. He didn't watch the video. He just watched the opening and, didn't even make his own joke. You see, in the opening of the video, there's a joke where Beard is dressed like a pastor to advertise their podcast. So Sneako calls him out with an epic joke, saying, bro is literally dressed like a pastor, like he's fucking Sniper Wolf. Did Sneako think Beard didn't mean to look like a pastor? Sneako, that isn't a fucking roast, Sneako. They're just dressed that way. Even if Sneako did watch the video, I don't think it would be as impactful as people in the comments assumed, because, I don't think Sneako cares about logical fallacies, and neither does his audience. Sneako is such an extreme personality that debunking him can feel kind of pointless sometimes. To like Sneako, you would have already had to have drank the Kool-Aid. Anyone left of lunatic can tell that he is full of shit. Sneako is a full-blown conspiracy theorist to the highest degree. If you tell a fan of his that he committed a logical fallacy, they wouldn't fucking care. So who is it for then? Is it just self-serving, a quick dunk on some low-hanging fruit? A guy so painfully, obviously wrong in everything that he says? Is it just for a pre-existing left-wing audience? Not designed to convince anyone of anything? Is it just a grift? These are only a few examples, but this uneasiness over the purpose of these channels stays. I want them to be better, to be the voice the online left needs. I just don't want them to be grifters, churning out the exact same video as each other day after day. I've been Kai from Kai's Home for Aspiring Vampires. I hope I wasn't too nitpicky this time, Danganronpa fans. Fuck you!